Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Red Dead Redemption 2 video, we are going to be finding out what happens if John tries to revisit the cliff in which the wolves actually attack him in Chapter 1. This actually occurs in the second mission of the game, which we'll get to in a little bit. So about a week ago, I posted a video where we returned to the cliff where Micah actually kills Arthur at the very end of the game as John. I was hoping to visit to see if there would be a cutscene that would occur, or if John would say something where he, remembers Arthur, like we've seen countless other times in Red Dead Redemption 2. And a lot of the comments you guys left in that video wanted me to check out this cliff. And I was like, you know what? I've actually never been back to this. It would be cool to see if John actually does something. So in case you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, which unless you haven't played past the second mission, I'm sure you do. But anyways, it's the second mission of the game where essentially John Marston has gone missing and Abigail requests that you go out and find him.
He ain't been seen in days. Weather ain't let up.
He's strong, and he's smart.
Strong, at least. Hello, Arthur.
Abigail?
Arthur, how you doing?
Just fine, Abigail. And you?
I need you to... I'm sorry to ask, but...
It's little John. He's got himself caught into a scrape again.
He ain't been seen in two days.
Your John will be fine. I mean, he may be as dumb as rocks and as dull as rusted iron, but that ain't changing because he got caught in some snowstorm.
Please go take a look. Javier?
Yes.
Javier, will you ride out with Arthur to take a look for John? You're the two best fit men we've got.
Now?
We're pretty worried about him.
I know. If the situation were reversed, he'd look for me.
Thank you.
This way. Last I know, John was headed up the river.
For all we know, he kept riding north and never looked back.
He wouldn't leave. Not like that.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Hey, I see some smoke. Come on, let's take a look.
Let's hope it ain't more of O'Driscoll's boys.
Well, seems somebody left. Recently. And that way.
Sure, well, come on then.
Okay, so several points throughout my journey onto the mountain, I end up pausing to see where I am on the map. So we actually start at the very top point, like the most northern part of the map, right above Glacier. And we sort of continue on, and again, ever so often, I will open up my map and I will check where we are. And it seems as if we are heading southwest. And I was thinking to myself, so far, so good. Everything looks like, we are in the boundary of the map, which is great news. We're going to be able to revisit this place. However, in one part in particular, I noticed that we had actually gone outside of the map. As you guys can see here, you can see where Javier's sort of yellow dot is and where our little icon is. It looks like we actually went outside of the map and then went back in. So I was getting a little bit more skeptical to see if we could actually reach this location in free roam. As we continued on even further, I opened up the map again, and you can see we're in this like northwestern quadrant of the map, but everything is within like the dashed black line. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, we're going to be good to go here. We'll be able to get back up here in free roam. And then you eventually reach the top of the mountain where you get off on horse and you sort of have to travel by foot. And once again, I end up checking out where we are once we sort of reach near John Marston. And again, we are well within the map boundary. And then, of course, you find John Marston sort of on the edge of this mountain right here, and this cutscene occurs.
That's quite a scratch you got there.
Never thought I'd say this, but good to see you, Arthur Morgan.
You don't look so good.
I don't feel too good neither. I'm freezing.
Don't die just yet, cowboy.
Come on, compadre. Well, we can't go back the way we came. Let's try this way. Come on. Hopefully this will lead us out.
So Javier says something interesting on the way out. He says, hopefully this way will lead us down because they have to take a different route down. And again, I checked a couple of times and we still seem to be within the boundaries of the map. So I was feeling really, really good about eventually being able to visit this location in free roam. And of course, you bring John back down the mountain and you get him inside the cabin where he is thanked profusely by the rest of the gang members and especially Abigail.
We need some help here.
Come on, help him down.
You're alive! You're alive!
Here we go. There we go. Ay, careful, idiotas. It's his leg.
Oh, come on, let's get you warm. Thank you both. This is a new low, even by your standards.
Thank you, Arthur. Thank you.
Got any other lost maidens need saving?
Not today.
Have you and Dutch talked about how we're gonna get out of this?
I was just discussing with Herr Strauss when the weather breaks. Suppose we'll have to keep heading east.
East? Into all that civilization?
I know. The west is where our problems are worse. Come on, Herr Strauss, let's get warm.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan.
Okay, so now that you've seen that, let's see if we can get to this cliffside in free roam, because I'd be very interested to go back again to see if we can gather any more details, if John says anything, if we can find the remains of his dead horse, which of course we saw up there. So what I did is I started in the exact same location where that mission began, sort of at the very top of the glacier. And I traveled in the exact same direction in the southwest. However, I noticed that things looked a little bit different, that I didn't necessarily run across that giant gorge. So I was a little bit discouraged by that. I was like, where is that? That's where I need to head towards. And immediately I noticed that the game was sort of pushing me a little bit further to the southeast than where we started that mission, that the glacier seems to be a little bit higher than that. However, in this case, we don't have the ability to get up there. So here's what I think has happened. Chapter 1 is a special chapter in Red Dead Redemption 2 because the map has actually restricted you. In chapters 2, 3, 4, and 6, you're free to go basically wherever you want. I mean, technically, I guess you could say New Austin and the area like Blackwater is cut off. I mean, you can still go there, you'll just be wanted dead or alive. Whereas like in some other games, the whole map might not be available to you. But in Chapter 1, specifically only the snowy area of the map is available. And the reason for that is because of a heavy snowfall, like an extremely cold winter season. And that cuts off access to the rest of the map. It also changes parts of the map that we go on to see a little bit later. Like, for example, the snow extends much further down. And in the mountains, I think it would have been colder. Thus, maybe you had like an ice bridge that would allow you to go up there. Because I tried on horseback to get up so many different directions, but I was not having any luck. I mean, you guys can see I am at the final point until my horse just won't go up any further. Now, I'm sure that if you were somehow able to glitch outside of the map, and even this is a glitch we've covered on the channel, about maybe a month ago. I think it's actually been patched at this point because there's been a couple of updates that Rockstar have forced out. So I don't know if that exact same method will work, but I'm sure that if you were able to get outside of the map, this is an area that you could revisit. But as far as just doing it in standard free roam using no glitches, I don't think you're able to. Now, I was starting to lose hope until I found this one sort of segment of the mountain that looked very familiar. I think I actually found the cliff in which John Marston rests upon. It's right at this location right here, and you can sort of see the edge in which he would be sitting on, where Javier and Arthur actually rescue him. So I thought for a second, haha, I found the correct spot, and now all I've got to do is traverse up and get there. And for a second, I was having a ton of success, And as I was getting closer, I was able to confirm that, yeah, that was definitely the cliff in which John Marston was sitting on. So that was good news. And I started walking my way up there, and I thought, man, I'm going to be able to get up here. This is super cool. And then I took a couple more steps. I got back on my horse, and then I turned into a John Marston snowball. And I ended up literally rolling down like halfway down the mountain. I thought I was going to die for sure, but it turns out there is no way to get back up here. And that part of the mountain and that area of the map was literally used for one mission. And that to me is crazy. I don't know of any other mission in the game that uses a part of the map that we can't access in free roam other than the Guarma chapter. The Guarma chapter is an exception, but I'm pretty sure every other mission in every other chapter, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6, you can find in free roam. This seems to be the only spot in the game. That's crazy. And I wonder why Rockstar did that. Maybe they thought it was too high up, that if players went here, they would get lost, or maybe it's just as simple as they were trying to show the progression of the game. How in Chapter 1, it was so cold, it was so frigid and snowing all the time, that it created this ice bridge or platform where they could access that area. But in the rest of the chapters, Chapter 2, when it became warmer and so on, that accessibility was no longer there. Thus, characters can't get up. I'm not sure if we'll ever get an answer why this area is restricted. I think we're going to have to wait until the game comes out on PC in order to be able to try something like this, where we could use like a mod menu or a trainer to be able to bring John Marston up there. But for now, it is not possible, and that is so weird. Because you can go to every other significant spot and cliff in the game, like the cliff in the final mission of the game, and all the other unique areas in the world that the game has you going on. But this one, for whatever reason, you can't get up. And that's kind of strange, and it's a mystery I don't know if we'll be able to solve, like I said, until the PC version comes out. But anyways, that's all the information that I've got for you guys in this video today. It was a fun experiment, even though unfortunately we weren't able to get back up there as John Marston. I really wanted him to go up there and say like, I really hate this spot, or I wonder if there's any wolves around. That would have been pretty cool. But let me know your thoughts, opinions more in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you did go on to enjoy this video though, a like rating would of course be awesome. And subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you like daily Red Dead Redemption 2 videos like this. Without the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.